We'll call the meeting to order at 6:33. And the first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the meeting of December 10th, 2019.
Make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes of December 10th, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll go to appointments. You all have a packet that has some people's letters of interest. First on that will be Mark Lewis for the Board of Education, Deeper Elementary School. This year, for some, I don't know exactly how it happened, but both town committees, Democratic and Republican, left a couple of seats open for the Deep River Board of Education. So we did not have an opportunity to elect these folks. 30 days went by and the Board of Education did not appoint anyone. That the next step would be for them to make the appointments. They did not, so the appointments fall on us. Mark Lewis, you'll see there is a professor of accounting up in Central Connecticut State University. He's lived in town, he's got a couple of kids in schools. And he's expressed his interest in filling the position. Both the chairman of the Deep River Elementary School and one of the other members from Deep River have endorsed his request. So I'm recommending that we make that appointment. We still will have one more vacancy. I'm not sure if there's a party, what the party line is. I think that it's either or, but I'll check that with Amy. So,
Need a motion?
yes, please.
I'll make a motion to put Mark B. Lewis to the Board of Education, starting November 2nd, ending November 2nd, 2021.
Second that.
Any discussion, any further discussion?
No?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up is appointments to the Economic Development Commission. About a month ago, Jonathan resigned his role on the EDC. We have 5 people who have expressed interest in the EDC, and you have emails from all of them.
Yep.
Expressing their interest and a little bit about themselves. I had a conversation with one of the applicants, Mark Ryer, a little while ago. He's been attending meetings, and he agreed that he would step back and continue to participate, but as a citizen. I had a conversation with Jill Larson yesterday, and expressed to her that there are 5 people for 3 positions, and told her that of these people, two of the other folks have been attending regularly attending meetings. Maureen Quinton is one of those people, and Jill agreed that she would begin to come to the meetings, continue to participate in the meetings. Or not continue, but begin to participate, learn a little bit, and as a seat becomes available, we'll have her and Mark in line to go on. One thing, just for clarification, there are no alternates on that committee. It's when it was created with all alternates. If we are inclined, we can revise that, but we have to go back to town meeting and basically revise the ordinance. So if we feel like we need to or want to, we can do that, but right now.
And it might be something
only
to
regular
consider that in the future,
Yep.
because they are starting to really kick it up a notch with the.
Yes,
with
they're
their-
getting very
yeah.
active in no small part because of help from Mark, Sue, and Maureen. The 3 folks that I'm recommending are Nick Kornacki, who is he works for
Amazon?
Amazon in the retail, working with market trends, retail development, and capital investment. I think he would be a good member, and I'm encouraging his participation. Susan Sabrola is the Chief Financial Officer for the Lewitt Family Estate, managing their properties here in Connecticut, but also working with the Chestertown government officials on matters, and I think she brings another positive experience to the commission. And Maureen Quinton has been working with the CCM in the communications department for for a number of years. And I think she would, and she has been, along with Susan and Mark, have been working with the commission. So unless you have any other thoughts, I'd like to entertain a motion for those to put those three on.
I make a motion that the Nick Kornacki, Sue Sabrola, and Maureen Quinton, all terms to expire 12/1/2021, be nominated to put on the Economic Development Commission.
I'll second it.
Is there any other conversation? All those in favor?
Aye.
Library Board of Trustees, Krista Carlson, was a member.
I was gonna say,
There
was she a
was
member already?
some
Yeah, that's what I
oversight.
thought.
She did not reply to getting back on, so we didn't put her on the list for reappointments.
God bless.
God bless you. She immediately expressed her interest in staying on, so
That's
we're here to do that.
I make a motion that Krista Carlson, term to expire 11/2/2021, be appointed to the Library Board of Trustees.
I'll second it.
Okay, any conversation? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And Veterans Green Monument Committee, Dave Oliveira was a member of that committee for a few years. He's moved out of town. Frank Santoro has expressed interest and has gotten support from the committee, so we'd like to put him on.
I'll make a motion for Frank Santoro to on the Veteran Green Monument Committee, term to expire 12/1/2021.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Regional Performance Incentive Program. I gave you all a packet, and I think I probably didn't give it to myself. Here we go. The River Cog, well, the state of Connecticut has freed up a bunch of money through OPM for a grant incentive to incentivize regionalization. The River Cog, as our Council of Governments, is directed by the state to manage those. So all of the municipalities that are part of River Cog will have to vote on and support each of these 5 that are in front of you right now. Only one of these directly impacts Deep River, and that actually is next on the agenda, but
Right.
we can maybe combine the two.
The radios,
But if you
right.
look at number
3.
4,
Oh, number.
Chester Deep River
Yeah,
and
we
Essex
know.
radio system upgrades. But there are others in here, and there will be others. Hopefully, this will be a grant system that continues. But for this fiscal year, or for currently, I think I want to say there's $12 million available or something like that. And it's very competitive. I don't know that we're going to get it. What this does is endorses
Our participation.
but it also endorses what we're directly involved in, and it doesn't commit us. We've put in a grant application already with Essex and Chester, and I'm very grateful for Essex for doing the writing. It had to be in on December 31st, and it was submitted on December 31st. It was very quick, but that is.
Is that the same exact grant?
It is the same exact grant.
So we have it basically twice.
We have we have the application in. This is what it's for. These are
Okay,
5
okay, I'm sorry,
applications that have
okay.
been made.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The municipalities need to endorse it. What the River Valley needs is or what the COG needs is a resolution by the Board of Selectmen to endorse the whole grant, not just the grant that we're involved in. So that's what you have in front of you. The second 2 pages, or the last 2 pages,
Is that?
is the resolution.
Yep.
And I'm happy to read that out for you. And I think we probably should, so
Yeah.
that everybody hears what it is.
Yeah.
It's a resolution of endorsement and authorization. The legislative body, with an asterisk next to it, of the town of Deep River convened on this date and adopted a resolution by the vote of whatever we vote to endorse the Regional Performance Incentive Program proposals listed below, referenced in the Connecticut General Statutes, Section 4-124S. Application can be downloaded at the website. One is for Lower Connecticut River Valley Council of Governments Regional Parcel Service and Update, which is explained as an update of digital parcel mappings of the 17 member municipalities of River Cog. Number 2 is the State of Connecticut Municipal Boundaries Survey, a statewide project being led by WestCog to survey the state's municipal boundaries to create better digital maps statewide. 3 is the Emergency Radio System Enhancement Project for Valley Shore PSAP and the Lower River Valley Council of Governments. Upgrades to regional emergency communication systems to benefit all RiverCog municipalities in Colchester and Marlborough. Number 4 is the asterisk, because that's us. Chester, Deep River, and Essex radio system upgrades. New radios for emergency responders in Chester, Deep River, and Essex, which are compatible with the state emergency radio system. Number 5, a regional building department feasibility study and building department record digitization project. Feasibility study for setting up shared multi-town building department in the lower Connecticut River Valley region and digitalization of building department records in Chester and Killingly. In addition, the legislative body with an asterisk has authorized, and this will be RiverCog, to act on this endorsement by signing all necessary agreements and take all necessary actions related to this proposal to enter into a binding agreement with the Office of Policy and Management according to terms of the RPIP grant program. And that's going to be signed by Amy, our town clerk. Now, the asterisks, the reason I highlighted those is the legislative body, there's a note at the back of this. Normally, the legislative body in Deep River is the, in all towns that don't have a charter, is the town meeting. But for the purposes of the Regional Performance Incentive Program, legislative body means the Board of Selectmen, Town Council, City Council, Board of Aldermen, Board of Directors, Board of Representatives, or the Board of the Mayor and Burgesses of a municipality. And that's from the state. So
I think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
I think so too. We have to.
This grant would buy radios?
Yeah.
Will-
That's
Can you
next on
explain
our.
that a little bit?
I will. That's actually next on our agenda, and I'm not sure how it works, but we can combine the two.
Yeah.
The emergency services, as well as the town crew, radio system needs upgrading. Not only does the radios themselves, but also the system that works, that they work off of, the towers that the radio signals go off of. They're high maintenance, high cost.
And they're getting old.
And they are old.
They are old, yeah, not getting old, they are old.
This program, what's out there now, the state of Connecticut, for the state police, built their own radio system. I don't know if it has towers or not, but they've opened that up to municipalities to participate in. If we want to get the radios that work with theirs, we don't have to pay any maintenance fees. We just have to buy the radios. So what that
It's a 900 megahertz system.
yeah, that's right. Right now, I
It is
think it's 450. You work on 800s. I'm not sure, but it's a great system. The state of Connecticut has opened it up for no fees for municipalities to come in and utilize it. Many towns are. Some towns have already gotten ahead of it, just bought their system, so they're not.
Right.
But the Valley Shore is moving in that, is going to do that. That's, we see that their grant there. We need to. I just had a meeting a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, with the fire department, and they need radios. We need to get this upgraded. The ambulance association will get some. The police are already on that system. Our town crew will get on it. We'll have one here. We'll have one in emergency services. And it's there. The radios are expensive, but we have no maintenance other than the radios themselves. So we have no commitment to this right now, but it's an opportunity to get share in $1 million grant from Deep River.
So if events like a hurricane or big snowstorm or something, things could be coordinated. Is that the idea behind this?
It's what we have. It's an upgrade of what we already have. We have a radio system that we communicate with ourselves. Just as importantly, we communicate with the neighboring towns. And it's best if all of the towns.
And it's an old system
Yeah.
for that communication. It makes it tougher. Yeah.
Right. So if all of the towns are on the same system, when you go to for municipal aid, you're all on the same radios. It's a very rare opportunity. The timing for Deep River is perfect because we need to start putting money aside to start doing this, and this is money dropping in our lap. if we get it. It's a very competitive, I don't know if we're going to get it, but it's an
You don't know
opportunity
until
for
you
us.
do.
We'll try it.
When would you announce that?
Oh, yeah, of
Whether we
course.
get, I mean.
Of course, what we have to
No,
do.
but I mean, what kind of time frame, or do you have no
I
idea?
don't know. I don't know. It's a state,
It's a state
it's a
program.
new program, it's a new thing. I don't know.
Says it all.
But it's, of course, we'll announce it. We'll have to go to town meeting for it because it's not a 100% grant, it's an 80% grant. So if we get 300,000, we'll have to come up with 60,000. But that will supply a considerable number of radios. Not all the radios we need, but it'll give us a good start. And in the beginning, we can ultimately, we probably will buy hybrid radios because not all towns will be on this for a while. So we can communicate on both frequencies,
That's gonna be my
Both
question.
bands
Yeah.
or whatever.
Which
So-
they're doing now anyway.
which
Yeah.
they're doing now. So it's, I think it's a win without any skin right now in the game.
Right.
As it comes closer, we'll move forward. But this is something that I appreciate Essex doing the paperwork, and all three towns will benefit from it. So if I can get a motion, if you guys all agree, if you're all, and there's no more questions, we can get a motion to adopt the resolution as presented. Basically, the resolution is to allow RiverCog to manage these grants.
Make a motion that we adopt a resolution of endorsement and authorization for the Regional Performance Incentive Program grant application.
I'll second it.
Any other conversation? All those in favor?
Aye.
So, it doesn't need to be part of the official record, but worth noting, it was either Westbrook or Clinton got some sort of similar grant money, and it was mishandled, or they didn't do all the paperwork in time and they lost it, and it's caused a big kerfuffle. So I don't know if it's worth looking into what mistakes they made, but it was something to the effect of they got the grant money and didn't properly use it in time, so learn
Okay.
from their mistakes.
Yeah,
It was either
thanks.
Westbrook or Clinton, and it was a radio tower grant money kind of thing, so.
But this is something that would be administered by RiverCog, not necessarily by Deep River?
Correct.
Well, the grant money.
The grant money would be
Right.
awarded to RiverCog and distributed
Right.
to the three
And then
towns.
once the radios are in, then they're ours.
Yeah,
It's the RiverCog that's,
it's just only the grant.
it's
is
only
always-
the grant to get the money. Well, after we make the purchases, there are
Sometimes.
radios and whatnot there. That participation then is gone. This is just for the grant.
That's right. So I think we just went over that. Do you guys have any other questions or thoughts on the radio system?
So we did 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Yep.
There's no action necessary on that, just to let you know.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is tax collector refunds. This month we have got 1, 2, 3, 6 refund requests totaling $5,816.42. Most of these are, all of these actually, no, 5 of these 6 are going to financiers or mortgage companies and things like that, so. So if we can get a motion for that.
I'll make a motion for the refunds for the tax collector in the amount of $5,816.42.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next on the agenda is Constellation and Titan Energy contracts. I think I might have mentioned to you a while ago that the company that we had signed on to buy our energy, our electricity basically, 2 years ago, has gone out of business. They went bankrupt. And as a result, we're back buying our electricity from Eversource, which is a little bit higher than what we were paying. CCM has built a consortium of communities around the state that have gotten together and worked with Titan Energy to purchase these at a I don't want to say a discounted rate, but at
A less
a group rate as
Yep.
opposed to individual communities. I've done a little bit of work, and they've offered us a price that is the lowest price we can get, which is just a little bit lower than what we were already paying. So what I need is authorization from you to, a motion from you authorizing me to sign a contract with them so we can move
Well,
forward.
And how long's the contract? 3 years?
I want to go with 3 years.
3 years?
What that does is it locks us in. Energy costs are going up. They're higher now than they were 4 years ago when I first got involved in this. And what it does as well, it doesn't leave whoever's in the seat, hopefully it's all of us, but whoever's in these seats 2 years from now after they get elected is not going to have to deal with this right off the bat. They'll have a year to.
You take advantage of the group
And
negotiation.
absolutely take advantage of that, yeah.
Which we probably wouldn't get otherwise.
So the motion really should include both Titan, who is, we're going to contract, who is doing the work, but also with CCM, who is managing.
Managing.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to sign a 3-year agreement with Titan Energy and also CCM, that's going to be controlling it for our energy costs for the next 3 years.
Can I ask you to amend that to,
Okay.
not to sign, not to enter an agreement, but to negotiate and authorize me to sign the agreement?
Okay, I'll change that to authorize First Selectman McDonald to negotiate an agreement with Titan Energy
Great. Yeah,
for the next 3 years for our electrical rates.
I second that.
All right. Anything? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the same thing. We've been looking into a phone system for the town hall and for all of the town. For about 4 or 5 months, we started with Comcast and went to Frontier. We went to a local Stevens Communications. What we've got right now is we've got working with 2 different companies, one from Durham and one from New York City, who are offering basically the same product. They've gone back and forth on some things, but it updates, it takes us off of the old landlines and puts everything into the computer, the internet. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
internet driven. There are benefits. You know, I'm kind of an antique when it comes to that kind of thing. I just want a telephone that I can pick up and call. But these phones they're pretty high tech. They do. You can just pick up and call if you want to, but there's a lot of other things that they do. The biggest advantage that I see to it is that during if we have a power outage, if cable goes out, if in any way the phones in the town hall get disconnected, it automatically transfers to your cell phone.
So those appropriate
So
people that need to have
that's
that
right.
connectivity have
So
that connectivity.
I'm thinking of times when, a couple of years ago, we had a blizzard that knocked out the power for a few days. We couldn't get calls here for 2 of those days. So we were trying to, couldn't even get the message. The phone was dead. So this would automatically, if the phones are out, if the cable's out, you dial the 526-6020 and it would defer directly to my cell phone. Or to
wherever.
Gina's cell phone, or to whoever. Whoever it needs to. And that, I think, will be a big factor in those kind of events.
Especially during an emergency situation, the
Yep.
the connectivity is
That's
is
the big
key.
thing for it,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really the big thing. So again, I'm talking to both of these folks, they both made offers, but I need authorization to.
You said one of them is local and one is.
Yeah, one company's from Durham, and the other is from New York City. They're both, as far as I can tell, they're both great companies to work
I
with.
think the homegrown or the Connecticut or the local
The local guy.
would be preferable to me versus somebody from New York City. Not anything negative against one or the other, but I like to support local as much as possible.
Yeah, as do I.
Especially if they're supplying the same thing.
Right.
Yep,
They're supplying
and
the same
thus,
thing.
thus far, that's what it appears to be.
And if it ever takes in-person service or whatever, Durham's a whole lot more accessible than if they had to than
Well-
New York City also.
That's the first thing that I'll be right with you.
But
That's-
being
that's-
it's all up here, it's probably all on the phone or.
That's
computer
funny,
anyway.
that's
But-
exactly what I thought. In New York City, how are you gonna service this stuff?
Right.
Says there's nothing to service.
Yeah.
If the phone breaks,
Right.
these are leased phones, we don't own the phones.
Mm-hmm.
If the phone breaks, you'll have another one in the mail the next day, it'll be
Right.
shipped right to you. If something goes on with the lines, that'll be something that your internet provider will have to take care of. And if something goes wrong in the lines of the
Yeah.
building, that's our IT guy. So service is is one part of it. I prefer local myself, but that's, right now, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and if that's the decider, then I go local. But
Yeah.
I need the same thing. I need authorization from you all to enter into a contract. This will be, there's not a real savings, but it's not an increase either.
Right.
It's pretty flat across the board as far as cost goes.
Yeah,
There
we're coming
we
into
may see some savings. but
21st century
Not a whole lot,
technology.
And the phones will be for here,
Right now, we're entering into the town hall.
just the town hall?
If they work at the town hall and everything goes smoothly, then we can expand that up to WPCA if they want to. Library is first on my list, actually, because they've been wanting a phone system for a long time. And other places around. I don't think the garage would, they don't use the wall phone up there very much anyway, so it's really not a reason. Firehouse might be a good place for that as well. I think it would be a good place for that, so. Yeah, but we can expand out
Right.
as we, go from here. Jane, you had a question?
So you mentioned landlines. I remember when the power went out, my old landline I could still use.
Yep.
Are you gonna have one phone that's the old landline just as a backup?
We have to keep landlines in here for the fire alarm and for the elevator alarms and things like that. But you're right, it's an interesting question, and that's always what I fall back on as well. Because like I say, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to this. I really just want a phone that I can pick up and call. But no, we won't have it. The answer is no. But these phones, if something goes out, it automatically goes to your cell phones. So as long as you can keep your battery charged, we will be able to.
Yeah, so if the lines do go down, it'd be into this cloud-based or internet-based.
We
As
will.
long as the generator outside.
It just,
Yeah.
right, it just defaults right to the cloud.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right
I
term.
don't know what that is.
Yeah, neither do I. Go ahead, John.
I've had, it's called voice over internet.
Yep, that's what this is, yeah.
For my business for about 3 years,
Mhm.
and I really like it, it's much less costly. But, and I have Comcast internet cable,
Mhm.
but if the Comcast goes down, my phones are down. So
Yeah,
So my question would be, in this system, if the internet goes down, how does it roll over to your cell
well,
phone?
it defaults, it doesn't roll over to anything, it defaults automatically. I don't know the technology, but I know what they told me, which is, and all 5 of the people that I've spoken with have said the same thing. If the internet goes, if your connection goes, the phone automatically goes to the sky, to the satellites. And
I would ask them, how does that work?
they could tell me and I wouldn't understand. But I have asked that question on more than one occasion, and all 5 of them have said the same answer. It's an automatic. Even if the internet goes down and everything else in town is going fine, if there's any interruption in the internet, it automatically defaults.
Probably because that connection's done not local where the problem is.
I don't know. I don't know. I certainly will ask them again, but I'll have to write down the answer because I'm sure I won't be able to translate it.
Over my head.
You know, oftentimes in these conversations, I have to say, you have to stop and speak English because I don't understand. I don't know that stuff.
Layman's terms, something
Yeah.
simple.
Yep.
So that's where we're at. Again, it's just entering into a contract with them. It's a lease purchase. I have the information if you want to take a look at it. It's a lease. We can lease to purchase, but I don't see a real reason for that. The first, the cost of the phones is pretty minimal. The cost really is driven by the internet and by the voiceover and stuff like that. So
Okay.
up to you all, unless there's other
Yeah,
questions.
I want to make the motion right. I want to make a motion that we engage with preferably the local Durham company to negotiate and provide a replacement telephone system for the town of Deep River and the town hall.
Again, I think it needs to be, you need to authorize me to do that negotiation. Because
okay.
you guys want to all be at the meetings all the time.
Authorize Angus McDonald to
Yeah.
enter into negotiations and
The first
ultimately
selectman.
first selectman to do the new phone system.
Okay.
And these would be leased phones.
The phones will be leased.
I think that's probably better than buying them, because then you're stuck with anything that.
Right.
Well, what it does is it takes away the cost if the phone breaks for any reason, they just send us
Send you a
another
new
one. Yeah.
I'll second that.
Any other conversation? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's the end of regular business. Audience of citizens, any questions, any thoughts? Jane?
I had intended to say this before I came here, but as I was walking up the street, I saw a car at the red light turn on red. They don't see that sign. I know that that's probably nothing that we can do anything about, but maybe you would bring it
No,
to.
believe me, I've looked at those. I actually have pictures in my phones from driving around the state since they put those signs up there that, that show that they have better ways to do this than just tacking a sign on the side.
I don't know what sign you're talking about.
They put up no turn on red on all 4 directions at the intersection.
When did they
here.
do that?
About a month and a half
Oh,
ago.
okay. No,
I've seen
I haven't seen it.
I've
No,
been
well-
rolling right through it.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
My wife said to me the other night when she got home, she says, "When did they put those signs up?" Because she hadn't seen them until a
Probably
week
got it
ago.
tonight.
They can't hang something.
That's what I'm trying to ask them
Yeah.
to do. That's what I anticipated they were going to do when they said they were
It's a
doing
lot
it.
easier because
I'm-
you're looking
I'm-
at the light.
I'm in favor
Hang
of
a flag on it.
all 3 directions. 3 of those 4 directions. I think it's really important. There's one direction where I can't remember which it is, but you can see in all directions, so you're okay. But
The right turn from River Street
Yeah.
on the North Main,
Yeah.
is not
Yeah.
so bad, but
all the other ones, it's important, and they need to be visible, and people need
So
to see
they're on
them.
a
So,
post now.
yeah.
I didn't-
Yeah, and they're not even facing in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's silly. So I've been
Yeah.
taking those pictures to send them up. I've got a conversation coming up with them regarding speed and traffic calming and stuff like that. So it'll be probably all at the same time.
Yeah, it was just funny.
Yeah.
As I was walking in,
Yep.
Yeah.
there was the.
what's interesting is that some people don't see it. Some people
Yep.
don't see it.
Don't
Yep.
wanna see it.
What it does is it interrupts the traffic flow. An awful lot of cars come up, make the right turn onto Main Street, which gives cars down here who are trying to turn across traffic or pedestrians
Yeah.
a little bit better of a chance, which
Yeah.
is maybe why they put that up. It's not just for the corner, but it really, down the stream, it really affects things.
Yeah. No, they put it up because I asked for them to put it up for that reason, for the
Oh.
visibility reason. It's a dangerous intersection, especially in the morning and afternoons when people are trying to get in there to get their kids from school. And those were, they initially said no.
Really?
Period. Yeah, they said they didn't need it. They had
It
a,
wasn't their idea.
they had an overhead picture and they said no. And I talked about some of those things that, traffic, if you're trying to get across there and people continue, no matter what, a green light or red light, people continue coming. There's no way to get across traffic and all that stuff. They surprised me and I didn't know they were coming. They all of a
Wow.
sudden they put them up. If I
Wow.
had known, I would have asked them not to do what they were doing, but,
But they wouldn't act so quick on the speed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was just thinking that same thing, yeah.
that's an interesting thing. And, they feel that they have acted. They spent time down there. They did 2 different
Analyzed.
studies, two different
Yeah.
analyses, and it was funny actually. And this is no way intended to say people aren't speeding. I know people are speeding.
Absolutely.
But Gina was here the other morning, and she looked out the window and says, "That truck is going way too fast. This is getting crazy." I said, "How do you know?" She says, "Because he was speeding." I said, "All right, time out. I'm going to go down the road. I'm going to go get in my car and go 30 miles an hour across here. I'm going to come back going 30 miles an hour, and you tell me how fast, if I was
Yeah,
going
my
faster or
speed, right.
slower than that guy." And I did, and I came back and she said, she couldn't believe.
Wow.
You think when you're driving, 30 miles an hour is going at a snail's pace. When you're watching it go by, it looks
difference.
fast. Yeah. So perception is a lot of it. Noise is a lot of it. The trucks go by, the tires are bigger, they got the bigger things, it makes more noise. And that is in no way am I trying to say that the people
Yeah,
are speeding and that there's not
and
an
I
issue.
echo that. I mean, people do speed, but it's,
It's the state
it's the
feels
size
very
of the
strongly
vehicle, yeah, that there isn't.
that all of that is within the parameters that they consider. Okay.
When it comes to the state, I think we've mentioned at the meeting, we got a new temporary resident state trooper.
Yep.
I don't know that he's been introduced to the, did we ever talk to, about,
I should have asked him to come in tonight,
Yeah,
and I
It's
didn't.
an
I had a
interim
long
position,
conversation
but-
with him today.
Yeah.
It is interim, he has applied, he does want to stay. And they just opened it up, so they're posting it, we'll know shortly. I don't know how shortly. But we will know, but along those
And who
lines.
picks that? The state?
The state, they
True Beth
don't,
or
I've been
Middletown?
told that I have no voice whatsoever, which doesn't matter. I'm talking to the sergeant over there on a regular basis to say that, Tom was trained by, Dawn actually taught the class that Tom, when Tom became a state policeman. She was the instructor at the State Police Academy.
Oh, wow.
So there's a little bit of continuity there. He's taller than her, but
So is everybody.
Easy now.
Hey,
there's that doesn't. He's.
Put your big boots on.
I like him. I think he fits right in here in Deep River. He's different in some ways, but I like him very much. And if we are lucky enough to have him, I think we'll be good.
How long does we don't know how long temporary is.
Usually a month, but we don't know. They're not going to leave him long.
Yeah.
He's been a temporary. I think one of the downfalls for him is that he's good at going in and filling in, because he's been temporary, and he told me about 7 or 8 different towns. So
Jeez.
his
Well,
most
yes,
recent
dog
was
is
Essex.
also on the tactical.
Yeah.
Is one local?
Oh,
He lives in Old Lyme. Yeah. He's a nice kid. He's a young kid. I say kid. He's a young guy.
Young man.
Yeah. But but along those lines, I wanted to let you know we have interviewed. I'm going to set up and arrange for an interview with you guys, with 2 of the police officers that we interviewed. I am very certain that we need to move forward with the hire of at least one for this year, and maybe a second next year. But the second will be in the in next year's budget.
Right.
This right now.
And we have,
Actually, both of
and
these.
we have enough money this year to cover.
We have money to cover it. It will
Yeah.
not be any drain on any reserve funds. We have the money to cover this position. And I think I've had enough of a conversation with Board of Finance that I'm comfortable making the hire, but I want you guys to meet him and talk to them first. So I'm
Yep.
going to arrange for that. Okay? So there's no action on that. I just want to let you guys know it. All right? All right, thanks. Anything else?
Make a motion, we adjourn?
There you go. Second?
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.